Hello students, I welcome you to this class. Here we study chapter 2, The Sound of Music, and this is second part of the chapter Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Let's start to read the chapter. Before you read, think of the Shehnai and the first thing you will probably imagine a wedding or a similar occasion or function. The next would probably be Ustad Bismillah Khan, the Shehnai maestro, playing this instrument. Maestro means legend. So when we think about Shehnai, we first think the wedding function or a similar occasion or this function for the good purpose. And next one, we would think about Ustad Bismillah Khan, the Shehnai legend who plays Shehnai. And about Ustad Bismillah Khan, there is some point before you. He is a very renowned Shehnai player in India. He is a legend because he did something which has historical significance. He played the Shehnai on the day when India got freedom, and that was 15th August 1947 at the Red Fort before the Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru gave his speech, and that was historical moment, and that is he is known as a legendary classical musician. Let's start to read the first paragraph. The Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence, for it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Emperor Aurangzeb, the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, who has prohibited the playing of musical instrument that was called pungi because of his unpleasant and harsh sound, and it was banned in the royal residence. Pungi became the generic name for reeded noisemaker. Here he is known as a president. Pungi was a predecessor of Shehnai. He was a predecessor of Shehnai, and he was a name, generic name is a name given to a class or group as a whole, and reeded noisemaker, wind instrument which have reeds like the flute and clarinet, etc. So pungi became the generic name for reeded noisemaker. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. A barber of a family of a professional musician who had access to the royal palace decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. So this would have been thought that the sound of the pungi would be revived one day, and this had been done by a barber who was the family of a professional musician, and who had decided to improve the sound quality of the pungi, and he had access to the royal palace. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem. Hollow stem means empty from inside. So he chose a pipe that was empty from inside, and that was longer and broader than the pungi, and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe, as we had seen the flute. So there are the holes on the flute, and same way here he had made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced, and this soft and melodious sound has been known as afterwards that was Shehnai. He played the instrument before the royal, and everyone was impressed. The instrument so different from the pungi. So when barber played the instrument before the royal court, before everyone liked this soft and melodious sound that was produced by this instrument. And this was, and as the story goes, since it was first played in Shah Chamber means royal court, and was played by a Nai Babar, this instrument was named the Shehnai. This name was given for this instrument, Shehnai. So before you students, there are some classical musicians pictures, and one of them you can identify Ustad Bismillah Khan. So move to next paragraph. The sound of the Shehnai began to be considered auspicious. Auspicious means promising to bring good fortune. So the sound of the music, when we listen, it is known as a auspicious for good occasion and good fortune. And for this reason, it is still played in temples and in indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. And this is in the beginning it was played in temples and also in an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding, means it was compulsory to play Shehnai in the North Indian wedding. And in the past, the Shehnai was part of the Naubat, a traditional ensemble 9 instrument found at royal court. The past Shehnai was the Naubat. Naubat means the 9 instrument. It was the part of the Naubat of 9 instrument found at royal court. Till recently, it was used only in temples and wedding. It was used to play only in temples and wedding, because when it was played, it was considered for good omen, for good fortune or good occasion. So in the beginning it was played in wedding and temples. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. So Ustad Bismillah Khan, that he referred to it by the title Ustad, he was one who popularized Shehnai. And why Shehnai had long held importance as a folk instrument played primarily in traditional ceremonies, Bismillah Khan is credited with elevating its status and bringing it to the concert stage. So this credit goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. As a 5 years old, Bismillah Khan played the Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient state of Dumran in village. When he was 5 years old, he used to play this game Gilli Danda. So this was played by the children. So when he was child, he played this game and near the pond, the ancient state of Dumran in Bihar. He would regularly go to nearby Biharaji temple to sing Bhojpuri Chaita. Through this we here come to know he was also a good singer. So he used to go Biharaji temple to sing Bhojpuri Chaita, and at the end of this song, at the end of this reciting, he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg as a prize given by the local Maharaja. This happened 80 years ago, and the boy has travelled far to earn the highest civilian award. From 5 to 80 years, he had earned our highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. And this is the distance from 5 to 80 years that he had travelled in his life. From 5 years, when he was 5 years old, he earned a big laddu weighing 1.25, and 80 years he earned the highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. He was born on 21st March 1916. Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. His grandfather Rasul Baks Khan was a Shehnai Nawaz of Bhojpur King's court. His father Pagambar Baks and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. Ancestors, paternal ancestors means ancestors of the father. So here Bismillah Khan that about this, as this lesson has been described, this lesson beautifully deals with the early life of Bismillah Khan in Dimraon in Bihar. His grandfather was a Shehnai Nawaz of Bhojpur's king court. The young boy took to music early in life at the age of 3 when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Banaras, now Varanasi. Bismillah was fascinated means attracted watching his uncle practicing the Shehnai. And Bismillah Khan took to music early in life when he was 3 years old in the company of his maternal uncle. Soon Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Baks to the Vishnu temple of Banaras, where Baks was employed to play the Shehnai. So he started to accompany his uncle and to learn and to listen Shehnai. So Ali Baks, and he was employed to the Vishnu temple. He used to go to play Shehnai to the Vishnu temple of Banaras. His uncle Ali Baks used to go to play Shehnai at the Vishnu temple of Banaras. Ali Baks would play the Shehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated for on end. When Ali Baks would play Shehnai, he would listen. He would sit attractively for hours on the ending of the Shehnai, of playing the music of Shehnai. Slowly he started getting lesson on playing the instrument and would sit practice for throughout the day. Then after he started to learn Shehnai and practice it throughout the day. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangla Maiya and the bank of Ganga became the young apprentice's favorite haunt where he could practice in solitude. By this we get one thing about Bismillah Khan's life, that his life is a source of simplicity and communal harmony. From the very beginning, when he used to sing Chaita in Bihariji temple and practicing Shehnai in Vishnu temple and Mangla Maiya temple of Varanasi. So here this for years he come to the temple of Balaji and Mangla Maiya, and bank of the river became the young apprentice. Apprentice means here trainer's favorite haunt, favorite place where he could practice in solitude. Here he could practice in alone, being alone. The flowing water of Ganga inspired him to improve the invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of Shehnai. So he was so inspired from the flowing water of river Ganga, and river Ganga motivated him, provoked him to improve his performance, and also invented many ragas. He practiced so much, he worked hard, invented different sound from the Shehnai. At the age of 14 years, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference. At the end of his recital means performance, Ustad Fayaz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." So he used to practice, and so he worked hard and invented different raga, and he succeeded in his practice. With the opening of All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came big break. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. So he got the big break in 1938 in Lucknow in the opening of All India Radio, and that he had soon became an often heard Shehnai player. So through this we come to know that his initial education in music came from his uncle Ali Bakhsh. He attended a musical conference with his uncle, but his big break came with the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938. Soon he became an often heard Shehnai player on the radio. So students, that is the first part of this chapter. So let it be continue. We will start the remaining part of this lesson in the next video. So students, thank you.